I'm watching myself in the viewfinder. This is just such a sexy position. But if you're here, I'm well above my upper limits. Okay, talking about kettlebell swings today, we're just going to talk largely about two-handed swings and then single arm swings. A lot of times you have to tell people, like, keep the kettlebell high and you want the kettlebell to be above the knees. That's a good general rule of thumb, but given people's different anatomy, some people have very long arms and a short torso, long legs, short arms. So that's going to vary from person to person, keeping the kettlebell above the knees and the hands high to the groin, or single arm still high to the groin. Here's a good way to do a self-test so you can find your upper and lower limits for a swing. Upper limit meaning you shouldn't be staying up any higher than this position. Lower limit meaning you should never go down lower than that position in a swing. So it's going to give you a little bit of leeway and sort of a box that you want to be working in throughout your swings, single arm or two-handed, either one. Okay, first thing we need to do, find our kettlebell setup position. For me, I like to use a different two-hand rule from another video. Two-hand rule to find shoulder width, thumbs touch, hands are spread as much as you can, and then you want the knees to be lined up over the ankles, and the outside of the hand should be touching the inside of the patella. That's going to roughly get me to shoulder width. That's a good general rule of thumb, other than the ambiguous step to feet to shoulder width. A lot of people don't really know what that means, and they can end up way out here or in way too narrow a stance. So I use this kind of cue to get people generally to shoulder width. That's where I'm going to start. Then, long shorts, come on. Middle fingers, come down, touch the top, or touch the middle of the kneecap. This is going to be the upper limit of my swing. From profile view, set up stance, middle fingers come to the middle of my kneecaps. This is the upper limit of my swing, meaning I should never be any higher than this when I'm going into a swing. Two-hand or single arm, either one. Stand back up. Now you're going to get your palms to the center of your kneecaps. This is going to establish the lower limit of your swing. Now I'm hinged over quite a bit more, but I should never be lower than this. So my window, my box that I want to be doing swings in, it should never be lower than this or higher than this. So that's the range for me. Everyone needs to go through and do that and figure out what your upper and lower limits are, because then if you find yourself doing swings when you're way down here, this would be well below my lower limit. And again, if you like to stay upright, you're probably sunk into the knees a little bit and you're here. I'm watching myself in the viewfinder. This is just such a sexy position. But if you're here, I'm well above my upper limits. I would need to straighten out, lower down. This is my upper limit, lower limit. So find those, start patterning those with just body weight movements so you can start to recognize, am I within the upper and lower limits of my swing to stay safe.